Chernobyl, April 26, 1986, 1:23 a.m. Operator actions and a flawed Soviet reactor design led to the worst nuclear accident in history. The Cold War, a silent but epic battle between conflicting ideologies, capitalism and communism. The Soviet Union was a superpower and had many satellite nations, such as Ukraine, where the Chernobyl incident took place. Strict Soviet control forced many employees into staying silent about the dangers they witnessed at the plant that night. Fear of losing the lives they had built for themselves kept their mouths shut. On that night, the accident was a direct result of a routine test in case of attack and loss of power. This incident could have easily been prevented, but failures kept stacking up unnoticed. For starters, a flawed Soviet reactor design. The Soviets were in a rush to complete as many reactors as possible, and so they paid less attention to the safety of their employees. The nuclear rods of the plants had a hidden flaw. They had to rapidly be powered off. A hotspot would arise down below, and none of the machines would be able to detect the growing danger. Then, once it was powered back on, the hotspot would worsen, and the reactor could explode like it did on that fateful April night. The incident was also caused by serious mistakes on behalf of the plant workers, especially the man in control, Anatoly Dyatlov. Dyatlov insisted on starting the test on much lower power than suggested. He also ignored warnings on low cooling water levels. The Soviets also played a major role. Their failure to train employees and harsh punishments was the key cause of this disaster. The reactor that exploded was reactor number 4, a model RBMK-1000. The test they ran that night was to determine how long turbines would spin and supply power after a loss of the main electrical power, such as if they were attacked. Dyatlov wanted to conserve their supply and started the test at very low power. However, this caused the reactor to lose power completely, and a dangerous hotspot began to form. They restarted the machine and tried the test again. Pressure continued to build, and then the reactor exploded. Twice. This caused a massive release of radiation into the air as well as huge fires. Emergency crews poured sand to stop the fire and boron to prevent more explosions from helicopters. Eventually, the fire was contained and put out. The incident and its harmful radiation killed 30 operators and firemen within 3 months. One person in the pipe room was vaporized immediately. Another died in the hospital soon after because of burns and injuries. Acute radiation syndrome was originally diagnosed in 237 people on site, but only confirmed in 134 cases. 28 of those cases died within a few weeks of the accident. Radiation caused a dramatic increase in childhood thyroid cancer. Operators remain at risk for cancer in the long term. It also led to social and economic disruption in Belarus, Ukraine, and the Soviet Union. Many were affected by the incident mentally, with trauma and chronic dependency issues, along with others. On a positive note, the NRS created new nuclear safety standards and enforced them. These are now common, but in the time of the incident, they were just distant hopes. Many view this incident as what split up the Soviet Union. Because of Soviet failures, feelings of distrust, resentment, and mistreatment spread like wildfire. This disaster is also closely connected to the Cold War. If not for the events and tensions that existed then, the accident would never have happened. This catastrophe was also very important worldwide. It led to a new set of modifications and standards in nuclear safety. This event was the worst nuclear disaster ever, and with it being so, people began to question nuclear power, as they are doing today. I believe it would be good for museum goers to learn about this extremely significant modern-day topic, as it is a crucial part of today's society. Thanks for watching!